The Chinese are probably responsible for it.
Chinese.
When do you think Dan Quinn gets fired? After this game?
What is up with Derek Carr?
I think he's like a vampire or
Vampire.
one of those dudes that hangs out outside of Hot Topic.
Hot topic.
I thought he was a civil engineer, man.
And Arthur Blank is just gonna like roll up behind him like, you know, looking like a weird Victorian butler in a haunted house or something.
Haunted house.
Or something.
Something.
Hey, he came in and was Patrick Mahomes. The kid is good.
Cincinnati might be the worst team in the league.
The worst team in the league. Another dead podcast.
It would be the San Francisco 49ers.
What?
They were averaging 200 rushing yards on the dot.
Really?
I mean, they had 275 last night.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Crazy.
Well, that's a great game.
So are they legit?
The Niners? I think so. For sure. They have, I mean, it's all about Kyle Shanahan to me. I feel like he's like Andy Reid-esque, you know? He just does creative things on offense, and he doesn't necessarily need, you know, incredible studs. Granted, you know, Reid has that now, but Shanahan can do a lot of things on offense, and the defensive coordinator is doing a great job too. So, yeah, why not? I mean, preseason it was the Rams, obviously, but the way they ended the year last year, that's going to haunt them. It's like the 28-3 at, you know, Atlanta haunting, which is still going on. Like, there's somebody else that's going to emerge in that division, and Seattle, I think, is there too. You know, as long as they let Russell play like he's been playing.
Man, how good do Coleman both look? Coleman actually looks. I mean, he blew my mind. It looked like a young Darren McFadden.
Yeah, I mean, well, relative no names, right? Like Matt Breida just ripping off a touchdown run like that just to start the game.
Fastest run in the past 2 years in any NFL game.
And you could tell the team's all about it, you know. They got guys like George Kittle out there. It's like, you know, that's the dude you want on your team.
Did you see some of that after the catch runs some of these guys are making too, though?
Yeah.
Like just full-blown 200% the whole game, man.
Like 3rd and 6s and 3rd and 7s. I saw like at least 2 of them that went to Kittle.
And he just
where
powered.
Normal people would have went down, and he's just fought for that first down, you know, in a game that they're already blowing out, you know, like, but they clearly won it. So, yeah, I'm a believer in them.
They haven't played anybody though.
They have a hard schedule coming up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, they're gonna have some challenges for sure, but
they played no one though.
Yeah, I mean it's the same Cowboys argument, right?
You know? And it's funny that you said they seemed about it, and that brings me to Cleveland because they don't seem about anything. I mean, as soon as the whistle blows on the play, all the defensive players are looking in different directions, just staring into the sky. Like there's nothing there. There's no unity. It's pretty obvious to me that the Kitchens just the whole process of running a team, relaying, exchanging the personnel, it's not working, and the players know it's not working because people are looking around.
Yeah,
it's weird. This team had so much hype in the preseason.
So much. Oh my God. People were picking them to go to the Super Bowl, you know, anointing them just on the makeup of their roster, which is still good, you know. And I think that it'll eventually come together, but it might be too little too late, especially in the, you know, where they're at. If somebody like the Ravens can pull ahead, you know, the good thing for them is that Pittsburgh is, you know, now on their 3rd QB. Cincinnati might be the worst team in the league. I'm going to contend that they are. And Baltimore, though appearances, when you watch Baltimore play, like the colors and everything and the history and all that, it makes you believe like they have a good defense. They do not. They're getting run all over.
Well,
So,
before we get to them, let's go to them next. But let's stay on the Browns just for a second. I mean,
sure.
watching Baker Mayfield play this season has been like watching me play Madden any season. Pretty sure I could just ask Madden, click hike, and let the computer do the rest, and I would be faring better than he is playing this season. I went and watched some film on him and the condensed Game Pass stuff, and dude, he is the worst faker I have ever seen trying to sell something. He has no consistency to his motion, the way he stands, the way he hands a ball off. I wouldn't say he's a one-read quarterback, but he sure is a slow-read quarterback. He looks really bad.
He wasn't like that last year. Like at the second part, at the end of last year, I'd say like the second half of last season, he was pretty good. So there's been some type of regression, either that or defenses are scheming better towards him, and he's not able to adjust to that. So this is now a matter of if Kitchens can get it together. You know,
He reminds me of a high school quarterback that, you know, just wins, and then gets to district or something. And then next thing you know, a better team comes in and kicks his ass. He's just a pouty little guy, man. Like Monday, last night, they take him out the game because it's a blowout, and he looks like he's about to cry on the sideline, man.
He looked dejected.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Pick your poison, right? You want him to look like that, or do you want him to, just Jay Cutler it on the side? Like, at least his heart's in it. You know what I mean? Like, it obviously hurts him a lot, his performance. So
I get that, but I mean, even before the game, not shaking hands and everything, he already had a bad demeanor for the game to start.
Well, what do
So
you
you
want?
going into a game like that, man?
He's a
Where's your
gunslinger, man.
motivation?
He's like your Brett Favre type, right?
Well, look, it starts at the head coach, because I mean that the head coach is the one that instills the culture, and I think the media has this one right, and they've been echoing that Freddie Kitchens is in over his head. He was given this job, and he probably wasn't quite ready for it, and it just seems that the whole process of how they execute everything, to even little things like that, with how Baker is carrying himself, it just seems that it's sloppy and no one's buying into it. They just don't look like a football team that I don't even think they get 6 wins. Maybe I think that's the best they can do is 6 wins.
I think they'll exceed that just by virtue of what their division's like. But,
Yeah.
Well, let's take their win at Baltimore, okay? Let's look at it, and then we can go and talk about Baltimore. The score was 7-7 until almost the fourth quarter. Both teams, it was a very sloppy game. I mean, Baker in that game, dude, he looked better in last night's game, to be honest with you, in comparison, just in terms of how he carried himself in the pocket than he did in that game. And they won that game. He scored a lot of points that game.
Yeah. No, like I said, I mean, it's the Ravens' division to win, or I guess I'd say it's theirs to lose.
Lamar Jackson is really good.
He is, yeah. And Mark Ingram's a perfect fit for their offense too.
But you know what I think's hurting Baltimore right now, though, man. To be honest, with Lamar being so good, he's trying to show off. He's more of a quarterback than a runner, and I think that's hurting him, to be honest. Because a lot of times when he could be taking off running, he's not.
They are the third. I think they're the third best rush team. They're either third or fourth. He's very fast.
Yeah,
it looks like watching Michael Vick take off out of the pocket.
Well, and that's what I was about to say is he should be kind of running maybe a little bit more, but I guess he don't have to because he's got Mark Ingram. And Mark Ingram's definitely been putting up some numbers as well.
He did a lot of that at the end of the year last year, and I wouldn't mind seeing that.
You don't know how much of that too might be management decisions, coaching decisions.
Sure.
Like,
Risk mitigation.
yeah, I mean, if you have a coach like if you're coaching a player like Lamar Jackson who can do both of those things, but you know that doing one of those things while effective in the game is going to, lead to the what happened to RG3, the inevitable breakdown of Michael Vick. Like what happens to quarterbacks that run and just get nailed, Like they just get smoked so hard. And you're potentially by encouraging that is opening up your quarterback to basically a shortened time span or a season-ending injury. So this early in the season, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens in the playoffs had all kinds of stuff drawn up for him, taking off down the field and utilizing his speed. But it's a risk versus reward thing, I think. So that may or may not play into it, but I imagine the coaches have something to say on that. Like if I'm John Harbaugh, I'm like, it was a nice run, Lamar, but maybe try to slide earlier next time, or get out of bounds before you take that big hit.
Okay, and just wait till later on in the season to open that up. Once you know that you're already okay.
Yeah, like how Gronkowski used to play during, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he's just kind of like wallowing around in the middle of the field, and then all of a sudden you're thinking all year, like, is he hurt? Is he playing through whatever? And then playoffs come around, and then he just turns it up.
No, man, he had seasonal gangrene in that arm that that bionic arm they were working on for 10 years.
Yeah,
Just this little flare up, little.
yeah. It's the LeBron strategy for making it through the season. Just kind of coasting, and then just trying to turn it on late in the year. But either way, I think that's their division to lose at this point. What I am ready to confirm though is the 5th seed in the AFC is going straight to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are 4-1 right now. Okay. They've got, I think, 2 more games against the Dolphins. They've got a cake schedule coming up.
Redskins, Browns, Dolphins.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this team is going to get like 11, 12 wins just by virtue of their schedule and what they've done so far. Their defense is great. Their offense is, does what it's not great, middle of the pack, I would say. But their quarterback is, I like the way Josh Allen hustles.
They're screwed come the playoffs, though. I mean, they're not going to win the division.
Yeah, they would have to go to Foxborough. Well, they would. Yeah,
they get a wild card. They have to go somewhere. They're going to get beat. I mean, I can't see their quarterback play becoming so elevated and consistent.
If the Pats fell off somehow and they snuck a win in Foxborough somehow,
Pats fell off.
I'm just saying. It'd be pretty remarkable for them to have a home game.
Well, it's funny you say that, but I mean the Pats catching their every year injury bug, just the slew of question marks every week.
It doesn't matter. They have a revolving door of running backs, and they'll figure out a way.
Well, N'Keal Harry will be back.
I don't think any coaching staff and quarterback work harder than them. So yeah, they had that moment where the Redskins had a lead on them. They're gonna overcorrect. Like they're gonna hit it hard and figure out exactly what they're doing. They're gonna come out with some new schemes and all that. Like this is a team that has been written off so many times in the past. Do you remember a few years ago when the Chiefs blew them out? I think on like Sunday Night Football, and the sports media for the entire week following was, "This is the end of Brady." Da da da.
So it was Kareem Hunt's first game, right? And I want to say that's who they played. I could be wrong. But I mean, in the past decade, the Pats have had 3 or 4 years where they've gotten off, even though they've won the first 4 games or go 3-1, they've looked shaky. And the media always says, "Oh, I don't know." But I mean, it's the division setup for them. They cruise every year. I mean, no team has had an easier 6 games every season than the New England Patriots. I mean, can you name the last Pro Bowl quarterback to play in that division besides Tom Brady?
I mean, Brady is one of the greatest, man.
Yeah, I'm thinking, is it like fucking Dan Marino? Like, you know,
Yeah.
like certainly not in the Brady era, or at least no one, of that caliber.
Yeah. There's
Was Chad Pennington a Pro Bowl cornerback?
Did Fitzpatrick make it when he was in
As a
Buffalo,
Bill? No.
or a
No.
Jet,
No.
or a Dolphin?
No.
no.
He's been on every team.
Yeah, right?
He just makes them dollars.
They had a while there where he was doing pretty well for the Bills.
Not Pro Bowl
know.
numbers, though, man. You're talking about the AFC in the era of Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. He's not going to the Pro Bowl in those eras.
No, don't forget about Phillip Rivers now. Come on, man.
Phillip Rivers, sure, yeah.
Don't be disrespectful.
How many times has he gone?
I don't know, man, but them losing to Denver bothers the hell out of me. And it's got to bother the hell out of Phillip Rivers, because this is exactly what San Diego has been doing for like a decade and a half, which is beat the shit out of a really good team, have everybody believing that this is the year, and then just
Dumpster to terrible
just completely
teams.
shit the bed against Joe Flacco.
Hey, do not discount Joe Flacco in the playoffs. I mean, that was one of the best 3-game stretches I've ever seen a quarterback. He and Eli Manning have given me the greatest postseason stretches I've ever seen at a quarterback. It's beautiful.
Consider him discounted.
Look, man.
He's got a nice deep ball, but I just don't like
He can hit skeet flying through the air with a football.
That's great. and all.
Respect.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Put some respect on my name.
I don't think he'll do anything. And as soon as John Elway finds another gigantic quarterback to replace him, he'll just be throwing his ducks as usual in Denver.
Yeah, be dust in the wind after that.
Yeah, you got the Raiders coming up hot now.
Which, I think John Gruden can just sell anything. Like John Gruden's a salesman, man. It's not that he's a great coach.
People are about to flip. Everybody, this is the week where everybody turns their opinion on John Gruden, which for the longest time he was a fucking idiot. And then the Khalil Mack revenge game in London comes up, and one of the picks that he got for Khalil Mack gets like 3 touchdowns. Old Josh Jacobs.
Yes.
And
right.
they play a great game and come out with a W. Granted, the Bears are playing Chase Daniels, and they've got other problems as well, but still, that was a big win for them.
Oh yeah, man. Without
I want
a
to
doubt.
I want to say the Bears were favored by like 4.5. I think 5 points that game.
Yeah, I think it was 4.
You know what I like about them in that game? They relied on. They didn't. Derek Carr. He went 25 for 32, but it was very systematic. They leaned on Josh Jacobs, and guys, I think, are starting to buy in to Gruden being there and being the coach, even if they're not going to win a ton of games this season. I don't know if they make the playoffs. I think that was the big buzz headlines that I've seen today. The Raiders are a playoff team. Is this an overreaction?
Maybe not, but they're not built for this year. That team is stacked with picks. Like Gruden trading Khalil Mack was basically him tacitly admitting that he's playing the long game on his 10-year contract or whatever.
$100 million.
Yeah, like he's going to be in Vegas. That's when he wants to win a Super Bowl, when these guys are playing in Vegas.
And the crazy thing is the way he's building this team now and the way they played the past 2 weeks. He's got something going on, man.
It might happen.
Got this team,
Derek Carr might not be the guy either. But
he's got this team believing that they are the best out there, man. After every play, after every penalty, man, they're looking at that sideline at Gruden like, oh, man, this dude's about to rip me one. You know what I mean?
They just need Vontaze Burfict back, Just
they need to draft Joe Burrow.
You think?
Cool,
Yes,
man.
that would be amazing. He
I wouldn't
is
be. I would
so
not be
perfect
surprised
for
at all
me.
if he uses one of his picks on a quarterback and just sends old eyeliner hiking.
What is the deal with that? Can we is that a thing? I've never consciously like asked that out loud. But what is up with Derek Carr?
I think he's like a vampire or one of
He's-
those dudes that hangs out outside of Hot Topic.
He works at Hot Topic part.
Works at Hot Topic, man.
Yeah,
Without a doubt.
gotta make ends meet, man.
Yeah.
It's a tough economy.
But let's switch to the other side there. What about you're a Bears fan, Nick. How about your thoughts on Chase Daniel, Mitch Trubisky, and whether either one of them is the answer for the Bears going forward? Now, bear in mind Trubisky, he came from the same draft where Deshaun Watson and Pat Mahomes came from, right?
Yeah.
So he came from that same draft class. What do you like just thinking about it, Like you could have had one of those guys. Is he the long-term answer? I want to hear your thoughts.
Man, even as a Bears fan, I'm it's gonna hurt to even say this. Our team isn't built for Mahomes. If that makes sense, man. Like our offense,
Like to win games?
yeah. I mean, our top receiver is Allen Robertson, man. He's got some decent numbers. His career's got decent numbers, but it's not a star. I mean, you put Mahomes somewhere in our offense, and does he really fit? And I don't think he
So
fits.
you don't think he would do any better than Chase Daniel or Mitch Trubisky?
He would, but I don't think it would still be enough because we don't have the players around him to help him out.
I'm just trying to gauge your level of Bears fan and like how much of a Mitch Trubisky apologist you are. Like he's just not that good.
He's mediocre, man, and I don't like to say it.
Do you think he's getting better? Or do you think it's time that they consider, I said it in jest earlier, trading Khalil Mack and for some picks or whatever, but do you think that team is poised to win now? And if not, do you think that they should start a rebuilding process?
No, I think we will be okay. I mean, the old saying of defense wins championships. I mean, I truly believe in that. I mean, look, there's a couple of teams right now, even with the Bills, compared to the Bills, their defense is stopping people. They're just kind of outscoring them. And they're a lower scoring team right now.
Yeah.
It's just their defense is stopping them. The Bears defense, it's one of the top 3, man. But when you're on the field all the time because your offense can't really do much, you get tired. And even with Mitch Trubisky, when he's there, man, our wins still fall on the legs of and the backs of our defense, man. At one point, our defense outscores our offense, but I'm okay with that because we're still scoring. You know what I mean? We're still making wins, but like even with against Oakland, man, if you don't have the quarterback to make those plays, but also the pass catchers to make them and catch them, you're gonna keep teetering off like this.
Yeah. Well, I think this is a game that I wanted to talk about just because I like talking about when Falcons lose. Falcons at Texas, at the Texans. When do you think Dan Quinn gets fired?
After this game,
Falcons are at the Cardinals. That's a game. That's a must-win game. And I'll tell you this is a little spoiler for like our pick'em section, but I'm picking the Cardinals in this game. And I this was my answer to it as well. I believe he gets fired next Monday morning. In the same way Jay Gruden got fired. Like they're going to lose to the Cardinals in Arizona and he's losing his job.
I think he's already going to know, and he's not going to go to the meeting.
Like he's going to be in his office, it's dimly lit, and Arthur Blank is just going to like roll up behind him like, looking like a weird Victorian butler in a haunted house or something. And just,
That's such a good look.
hand him his papers.
Oh, don't you love seeing him?
Yeah.
He is
He is
everything that
so-
I want to imagine as an owner of any sports franchise.
The only thing he looks like he owns is like one of those little trinket kiosks in the middle of a mall. You know what I mean? It's just like all like rubbish. They're just trying to, like he looks like a swindler, like a 1920s bank robber.
He looks like a real estate mogul that only owns dilapidated houses and castles.
Yeah. Hammocks, pompous chairs.
Yeah, he's done. Dan Quinn.
I don't think he is though, man.
They're not supposed to be this bad, and they are. So
Yeah.
this is unexcusable. In fact, I can't even believe that he's still the coach.
I think Arthur Blank wanted to fire him ever since the Super Bowl when he went down to the sidelines and then he had to awkwardly stand there and watch the Patriots come back and ultimately win that game. Like, as the owner of a team, you're looking to your general manager, your head coach. Like,
Baseball is kind of like that, and I wish football would be like that.
at the end of the day, he's got to just want to just can this dude.
I mean, in baseball, they don't give a shit. You could like take a team to the World Series, and like the next season, if they don't like what's going on, you're fucking out of there.
Yeah, it's too many talented people that want the job,
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that would, try different things. It is amazing though the difference between like baseball and football. Like somebody like Hugh Jackson, for some, like how he remained employed for so long, like whatever he was selling.
He had some dirt on someone because that
Yeah.
man made so much money for
Well, that-
accomplishing nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
holy mackerel. Hugh Jackson won the lottery. What did he walk into during an Eyes Wide Shut party?
Yeah, no, he had a dick pic or two for sure. Something.
Oh yeah, somebody accidentally sent him something.
Yeah, and he's like, well,
He definitely swindled somebody into doing
It
something they
wasn't-
shouldn't have.
it wasn't a good year, but then he flashes his Galaxy and he's like, I still got this, so
I mean, it could have been a Polaroid. You never know. He had something.
He
He
flashes a Polaroid.
He shook it like a salt shaker.
yeah. I still got this bad boy, keeps it in his wallet.
I mean, you can go out like Jay Gruden though and just be partying it up the night before and just like, oh screw it, we lost again.
That was such an obvious Snyder hit job. It's like, all right, let's besmirch his name and then can him so we can try to contend that we don't have to pay him.
I've got something for you guys. Pick two lost teams that you do not think will make the playoffs.
Are the Bears 3-2?
They are.
That's one of them.
Ouch. I'm going to go on record real quick and just say if they weren't my team, I would probably agree with you, but I'm not.
I mentioned it earlier. They have a tough sled and they have a lot of things that they need to correct. And I don't think that they have the time to do it. Not in the division that they're in.
We got some hard teams in this division, man.
We can count the Lions in this discussion. I know they only have one loss, but they also have a tie.
I'm not counting the Lions out.
I don't know what they are yet.
I want to count Minnesota out, but you
Can
never
you?
know what Kirk Cousins you're going to get.
I mean, can you really count out?
Yeah, you can.
You like that? You
Like this was a classic game where he's like against an inferior opponent. He puts up some big numbers or whatever. He doesn't win big games. But that's the thing. He might be able to slide into the playoffs. If they make it, they're not going anywhere because he can't win big games.
What if he has a Flacco moment?
Hey, their defense is flying under the radar. They have the 5th least points scored against them.
I got the Bears, and it's hard to choose one, but it's either Oakland or Indianapolis for me. And I'm leaning towards Oakland because I actually kind of like what Indy's doing. And that was a huge win over the Chiefs. Not many people saw that one coming.
I think my two picks for a 2-loss team to not make the playoffs would probably be the Vikings and the Panthers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Vikings and Panthers.
I understand the Vikings. What's your reasoning behind the Panthers?
I don't think they can keep this going. I get it. I love the Panthers. They have a winning culture there. It still exists, but this isn't their year.
It is kind of a weird rubric for winning, right? Where like like you can't give the ball to Christian McCaffrey 40 times a game and
But they are.
expect him to last an entire season. You know what I mean? And Luke Kuechly's like getting every tackle.
And what are they going to do next year? I mean, is Cam like? Are they moving on from Cam? Is Cam the guy?
Cam's supposed to be coming back, according
yeah.
to what he's been like.
Doesn't mean he's going to play well.
No, it doesn't. And this other guy, I'm still not even sure of his name. I know it's like just a generic white dude name.
It's Kyle Allen, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew it was like two first names.
They got 50 miles to go, but only
John
45
Robert.
miles worth of gas. And they're just burning it and trying to hope they can coast through.
So, should we get to some week 6 picks?
I think you guys want to run through the.
I got the sheet here, and we'll start with the Thursday night game.
It's time for some motherfucking picks.
Well, I was going to do my two lost team picks too, guys.
Oh,
No,
you're I forgot you were involved. Go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Nah, so my first pick would be Oakland, the Raiders, man. Just because, like I said earlier, I think they feel it, but I don't think this is the year for them to get there this year.
Yeah.
And the second team is going to be the Texans.
wow.
Yeah.
So you think the
cool.
Colts are taking that division?
Yeah, because man, the Texans have a really hard schedule coming up, man.
I'm also not ready to rule out Jacksonville in that division.
Yeah, I mean the strength of schedule here for Houston, man, is
I wouldn't go so far as to say I don't think the Houston will make the playoffs, but it's not as a foregone conclusion as a lot of people in sports media are making it out to be. You know, like the Andrew Luck retirement, the Nick Foles getting hurt, Tennessee, just being Tennessee as always. I think it's going to get a lot more contentious towards the end of the year. All of those teams are pretty scrappy. So,
yeah, I mean, the Raiders don't have a crazy hard schedule. I just think if they do make the playoffs, they're definitely not doing anything when they get there.
No, but I mean, this is about making the playoffs. So,
yeah. Now the Colts, on the other hand, they have a really easy schedule too.
you got to think the Bills are getting one of those wild card spots. Like, there's no way around it. So, just there's one other AFC team that's going to the playoffs.
I don't know if I would call this Colts schedule easy. I mean, the final 4 games, they have to face Bucks, Saints, Panthers, and I could see them losing all 3 of those games. I could see them losing to the Texans next week, even at the Steelers.
So I don't think it's going to be Cleveland, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I think that 6 wild card spot goes to the Chargers, the Jaguars, or the Colts.
Well, I want it to be the Chargers every year.
I mean, they're 2-3, and they go on these runs hot late in the year,
they play good teams great. They play garbage teams garbage.
Yeah, they play up and down to their opponents, which is like the most annoying. I've read stuff like from Chargers fans, and just like, this is just how things are, We'll just drink, whatever. It's got to be nerve-wracking and annoying to see it every year if you're a Chargers fan, to see them beat the team that no one thought that they would beat soundly, and then lose to a bottom 5, bottom 10 team with just like dumb errors and Cortland Sutton just smoking you in coverage.
I would say they have an advantage here playing Packers and Chiefs at home later in the schedule, but I mean, they play in a stadium that seats 27,000 people. So No.
Yeah, no, they don't have any home games. Whoever they're playing has more traveling fans in Los Angeles than there are LA Chargers fans,
I'll never
which
understand
is so sad.
how San Diego lost this team.
It's money, man. The Chinese are probably responsible for it at the end of the day.
It's time for some motherfucking picks.
Giants at Pats. Pats are favored minus 16.5, and the over-under for this game is 42. My pick, obviously, is going to be the Pats.
I'll take the Pats.
Yeah, I'm going Pats as well.
Safe pick. Get you back in the game, huh, Nick? All right. Starting with the... this is the London game, so no true home game. Panthers at Bucks. Panthers are favored by 2, and the over-under is 48. I'm choosing the Bucks.
I'm also going to go with the Bucks.
I'm gonna have to go with Carolina, man.
Yep, gotta make up those wins somehow.
Really? Man, I just think the Bucks are...
They're favored in this game now. Carolina is favored.
I just think the Bucks are one Jameis Winston light bulb away from being good.
Dude, they destroyed the Rams in Los Angeles. You
Yeah,
know,
man,
like if they can
score.
if they can recapture that spark in some of these other games. And it's not like I don't want to go off on a tangent because we're in the middle of picks here, but it's like Wade Phillips' defense is pretty good. You know, they got like the best defensive tackle in the league. You know,
However, they have given up the 7th most points. Now, I granted
Yeah.
that's because of that game.
right? That game skews things, but it's like, how did that game happen? I don't think it was necessarily the Rams' defense just shitting the bed. I think it has a lot to do with how good that offense can be.
Well, the offseason. I mean, dude, the defense is not the same defense it was last season. Like, from a personnel standpoint, you know?
I think that the Bucks offense has like top 3 playmakers in the league with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cameron Braid, OJ Howard. Those are huge receiving threats.
That's it, though. That's all they have. They don't have running
That's
back.
pretty nice, man. That's pretty nice.
Well, they might be onto something with the running backs. Ronald Jones is becoming increasingly effective, especially at home.
yeah, they use Ronald Jones, Peyton Barber, whatever, you know. But the strength of that team is that they can play a 12 set. You know what I mean? Like one running back, and then have OJ Howard and Cameron Brate in the game,
Yeah.
and just do play action all day and hit one of those guys over the middle, or kick it out to Evans or
Right.
Godwin. Godwin might be the best one on the team. You know.
Probably.
All right, these are the noon games. Seattle at Cleveland. Seahawks at the Browns. Seattle's favored by 1.5 points, and the over-under is 47.5. I'm taking Seattle in this game.
I will take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I gotta go Seahawks. Even though I want to go Browns, man, I do. Because
Don't
they gotta
do it.
bounce back sooner or later, man.
No, they don't. They got to bounce back to the dumpster behind
No,
the
man.
stadium
I can't. No,
where they're going to hide Freddie Kitchens'
I'm not
body
giving. I'm not
because
giving
that's
up
what
hope
they
on
need
them
to
yet.
do.
Dude,
Bomb right
I
there.
fired up my fantasy this morning and saw that my Baker Mayfield start yielded 0 points.
Yeah,
Just a flat 0. Like not even a negative or point whatever. I'm like, how is that even possible?
I mean, it's better than what Dalton gives you some weeks, so.
Oh my good God.
-4.
I'm just saying I could have
Six.
started Brett Favre and had the same fantasy outcome.
yeah. You could have started a quarter. You could have put Kaepernick in. You'd
Yeah.
have been so excited.
Yeah. Joe
Yeah,
Montana.
man, you could have checked off your social justice duties for the year.
Fucking right.
Exactly.
Would have been a
Done.
sick play, man. So woke.
I could have started Steve McNair, you know?
Too soon.
Too soon. Okay. All right. All right. Texans at Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 4.5. Over under 55 points. And I'll note that that's the highest over under of the week. I'm picking the Chiefs. I don't think they lose 2 in a row.
Man, I am worried about the Chiefs. They almost lost the game before this last one. Do you guys not remember how that game ended? They
No.
won like
I certainly remember. I just
against
don't
the
think
Lions.
that they lose 2 in a row right now.
Hey, he came in and was Patrick Mahomes, man. The kid is good. The kid's good.
I'm not saying he's not. I'm not sure he's healthy right now. Is it at Houston or at the Chiefs?
It's
It's at
Kansas City.
Yeah, it's in Kansas City. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the Chiefs there.
All right. Redskins at Dolphins, which is like the shit game of the week. Which Washington's favored by 3.5. Over/under's 41 points. And I'm taking the Dolphins for their first win of the year in this game.
I am also going to go with Dolphins first win of the year.
I don't know. I guess I'm gonna go Dolphins just to hedge with you guys, and I think the home team is probably the safe bet, but they're both really, really bad. It's actually going to be a really fun game to watch. It's the one I'm looking forward to most.
I was gonna say it's gonna be a punt fest, I imagine.
No, I actually think it's going to be high scoring, bro.
You think?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
if you
both
do,
teams
then
get over 20 points.
If you think that, then that is a juicy over under for you to take the over on.
Do you have the numbers on that in front of you?
Yeah, it's 41.
41.
Which is like the second lowest, or it's tied for the second lowest.
I'm saying they both go 21, at least 21, man. That's 42. Yeah.
Well, if you truly believe that, bet money on that over. Parlay it with something else. Let's see. Eagles at Vikings. Minnesota's favored by 3 in this game. The over/under is 43.5 points. And I'm gonna pick the Eagles in this game because this is a classic game where Kirk Cousins is coming off of a prove it game, and now he has a decent opponent, and he's gonna shit the bed like always. So, Eagles.
I'm going to take the Eagles just because they're the better football team. Yeah. I mean, I think the Eagles are still one of the better teams in the NFC. I don't think them at 3-2 is wholly reflective of what they've got going on. Yeah, I like the Eagles in this game.
I got to go with the home team, man. I'm going to go with Minnesota here.
Take the Vikes, baby. The argument to make for the Vikings is that they have Dalvin Cook. And he's just been shredding defenses. So we'll see what happens there. I just don't believe in Kirk Cousins in this game. Bengals at Ravens. Ravens are favored by 11.5 points. The over/under for this game is 48. I'm going to take the Ravens, and I'm also going to point out that this is a hot over to take. Because the Bengals, and like I mentioned earlier, the Ravens defense is not good. I think actually even the Bengals might be able to score on them.
You want to make that a personal bet?
And even if you don't believe that, I think the Ravens themselves might be close to hitting this over in this game at 48 points. So yeah, we can make a personal bet. Let's get these picks going.
Well, I'm definitely taking the Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens, and I would definitely go with you, Andrew, with the over, just on the fact that the Ravens may put up 40 points themselves.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the Ravens might come out and get like 28-0 in this game in the first half, and then the Bengals will get the classic garbage time, like 20 points.
I'm thinking 35 in the first half.
That's just how I feel this is gonna go. Lamar Jackson had an off week. They're gonna bounce back big against what I think is the worst defense.
The worst.
I think that they're terrible. They're gonna get gashed all over. And I think the Ravens can get run on now. So I think Joe Mixon actually has a decent game. Andy Dalton had a few flashes last game in the second half. In the first half, I think he only had like 20-something yards, like in the entire first half. It was atrocious, but both of these teams are in get-right mode. And so that, for me, spells, easy money on the over. The afternoon games, 49ers at Rams. Rams are going to be favored in this one by 3.5 points against the undefeated Niners. Over-under on this one's 50.5, which is close to the highest in the week. Second highest, third highest, something like that. I'm taking the Niners to stay undefeated.
I'm going to go ahead and take the Niners.
Man, this is a man. I think.
Look,
I think.
we're giving you the home favorite.
Yeah, I know, and it's so hard to not take them, man. Because I think they're gonna loosen Gurley up more. They're gonna use him more.
Use him what? So they can put him out to pasture? Because he's done. They paid him too much money. It's over. They're not the same team.
That, just because of that, yes. I'm going.
This is another game that I would consider betting the over on.
Yeah, the Niners are going up in this game. The Rams defense cannot contain what I saw last night. They won't. I guarantee that.
Also, I think the Rams offense can put points on the Niners. I just think the Niners are the better team.
I don't think that will happen either.
I'm going to say this, all right? I know Sean McVay is like the second coming of Jesus and all that, but I think he gets out-coached in this game. I think that Kyle Shanahan just is a class above him.
I will agree with that, but I still think the Rams pull it off.
Jared Goff is the most overrated quarterback in the NFL.
That's okay. He's got great receivers to throw to.
I agree, but I hope he's learned anything from last night. And that lesson is that when you play the San Francisco 49ers, you do not throw to the right side of the field because that is where Richard Sherman lives.
He's so fired up to be a Niner too.
Dude.
He loves it.
He is a big leader, man. If you
saw him on the sidelines, everybody was smiling. I mean, it helps when they're blowing the team out, but
you can tell he's being a leader. You know what I mean? He's not getting down on people.
Yeah. It's good to see him like that.
Remember when they always used to mention his GPA at Stanford?
Oh, yeah. He's brilliant.
I mean, it is impressive.
He's so smart.
So smart.
They call that the soft bigotry of low expectations, right? So it's like, why would you be surprised that he had a low GPA?
Exactly. It's,
you know, not everybody's out here talking about Andrew Luck's GPA.
Thank you. And you know, it was a 4.0.
Can you believe Richard Sherman?
What if it wasn't? What
are you trying to say to me? What are you trying to say to me, Hannah Storm? Say it.
Andrew Luck's Stanford GPA was like a 2.1.
Yeah. This is fucking retarded. Like, I can't wait to see the houses he built. Supposedly he's going back and being an architect now. They're just going to be just a CTE monstrosity. Like, it's going to look like some Willy Wonka type shit.
I thought he was a civil engineer, man.
Was he? I thought he was built. You know what? Forget about Andrew Luck.
No, he's got a degree in architecture for sure.
All right. We got Falcons at Cardinals. Atlanta's favored in this game by 2.5 points. Over-unders 51.5. And I teased this earlier, but I'm taking the Cardinals at home to fire Dan Quinn.
I second that motion wholeheartedly.
Man, my record is already in the dumps, but Julio Jones. I got to go Atlanta, man.
On Peterson?
Take him.
Yeah, I'm taking Atlanta, bro.
On 7?
Not on 7. All right, we got our lowest over-under of the week in this next game here. Titans at Broncos, where Denver's favored by 2.5 points. 39 points is this over-under. And I feel like it's a lock to be under. I'm gonna hesitatingly take the Broncos in this game.
Okay. I'm actually gonna take the Titans. Love Vrabel. Love what he's doing there. The Titans have a bright future ahead. He's establishing good culture there. They're gonna go in the Mile High and take a victory there.
You see, I agree with all that.
I'll also go with the Titans.
I agree with all that about Vrabel and all this. I feel like these teams are fairly evenly matched.
It's a coin flip game.
I'm just taking the home team.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, Titans are 2-1 away this year. That's where they've gotten all their wins. They've lost 3 at home.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
they need to revert to the mean. You know,
Oh, gambler's fallacy.
what is Gamber's fallacy? Because something has happened before, it's going to continue to happen.
Or if it hasn't happened before, certainly it will happen now.
Could be either way.
Sooner or later.
It's
All right.
bound to happen.
Last afternoon game is Cowboys at Jets. Dallas -7. Over under 42.5. I'm taking the Cowboys in a must-win or season's over game.
Okay, I'm going to make a stunner here. I'm actually going to take the Jets in this game. Darnold is coming back. Le'Veon's on deck. These Cowboys are overrated. I'm so tired of hearing about them. I cannot wait until they're a 500 team and ESPN finally has to appropriately rank them in the power rankings. It's fucking gross. Get them out of here. They're overrated. They have a horrible head coach. They can only do one thing, and that's run the football. If they can't do that, they can't do anything.
I hear you. I just feel like there is so much pressure in this game. They have to win it. And they can beat bad teams. And I think that the Jets are fundamentally a bad team.
To compare to other better NFC teams, I'll let you go after this because I just want to continue on this point. There are other top contenders in the NFC that can play in games and have their run shut down, and they can still go throw it at you every play. They can go throw it 40 times at you and beat you. You can't have Prescott throw 40, 50 times a game. He will be exposed.
If this was Sam Darnold's second game back, I would go Jets. I don't see the chemistry. The Jets they're flunking out right now, man, and that takes a toll on you. Whether that quarterback comes back or not, you got to get some play underneath you to have that confidence built back up. You don't have it with just him coming back, man.
I mean, having Luke Falk start for you would be like having. I don't have a good analogy.
I'm glad that you're locked in on the Jets because that's just another game I'm going to be above on you. All right, Sunday night, Steelers at Chargers. Chargers favored by 7 points. Over-under's 41. And I'm taking the Chargers. There is a third-string quarterback who I can't even think of his name. Starting for the Steelers. That's basically my point. The Chargers, they lost to Clunker last week, and this is a must-win game for them, in my opinion. And it's at home. For whatever that, I mean, there'll probably be more Pittsburgh fans there anyway. You know, they travel well, but I don't think their offense is going to be capable with whoever that third string is running it. So I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. The Steelers are trash. Chargers.
I will also go Chargers.
All right, Monday night, the Lions at the Packers. Green Bay is favored by 4.5 points. Over-under is 47. I'm taking the upset here. I'm taking the Lions.
Whoa!
In Lambeau. I'm taking the Lions in Lambeau, baby. They're just coming off a bye. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for Green Bay. They were playing well. I like what Matt Patricia's doing, you know? And he's another one of these guys that I really hope does well because of all the shit he got in sports media the last couple years. So, I'm a Matt Stafford guy, and I love their core. I love Kerryon Johnson, Kenny Golladay, Marvin Jones.
Oh, we know you love Babytron.
I do. And I love that new tight end they have, who is a monster. And Stafford's got some great weapons. They have a decent O-line. Their defense is playing fairly well. I think they can contain Green Bay and take this game. And I like the way they end games, I know they had that dirty tie against that Arizona, but I'm still taking them. I think they're going to take this game.
Well, thank you for making this pick because you've allowed my previous pick with the Jets over the Cowboys to be a non-factor now. The Packers are definitely winning this game. Aaron Rodgers is back, and this defense is playing well, despite what people say about downward trends. This defense will step up and play games when they have to. The Packers are going to take them.
I agree. Packers here, man.
Well, all right. That concludes the picks for the week. So I've got a few fantasy things here.
Yeah, thanks for sending them beforehand.
Well, no, you don't get an advance warning. All I got is simple stuff here. And I just have one real issue this week, and that is an RB2 spot to fill. And my RB1 is Joe Mixon. Okay. Don't laugh. I'm receiver heavy. Okay. So I have to start an RB2. I have guys on bye. It's between Latavius Murray or Giovanni Bernard.
Out.
I know.
Jesus Christ, man.
Now, hang on. I don't want to start Giovanni Bernard and Joe Mixon because I don't think it's going to be that kind of affair. And I don't necessarily want to start Latavius Murray and him have 5 touches. So here are the options available to me on waivers. The 2 Giants running backs, Hillman and Penny, one of the two is going to get, they'll probably both get a good bit of touches in this game. But they're playing New England. So I'm not keen on starting any running back against that defense, really.
That's out of the question. Move on.
There's Ito Smith in Atlanta.
Okay, there you go.
There's Edmonds in Arizona. David Johnson's backup. And then there's Raheem Mostert in San Francisco.
Oh, you got to play Mostert.
That's what I'm thinking too, because I like the matchup.
Oh, you got to play him. I mean, they love the guy. I mean, I know he didn't get a lot of play this previous game, but that's because Coleman was back. But I don't think he's out of this. I just think they wanted to give Coleman, some looks because he's back. Yeah, I like Mostert there.
Yeah. What do you guys have?
Oh, boy. Do you want to go first, Nick, or you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go first, man. I got 2 running back spots to fill because I got so many buys going on right now. I have McCoy, Thompson, and Jones. Ronald Jones.
Yeah.
I need 2 of those 3. Yes.
Right. Well, starting with Shady, there's a lot of question marks here, right? He gets benched last game. Andy Reid talks about things like pass protection issues. I mean, they are at home.
He got no touches.
Right. He had 2 receptions, but he had no rushes.
Fumble or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, Andy Reid specifically cited pass protection issues. If you take out that game, he has a very healthy average every time he touches the ball. I mean, for carries, I think it's 7 yards. The only thing that makes me worry really about him is that they have a lot of good options back there. I mean, when he plays, he does average 10 touches a game, but they don't have to use him by any means. I mean, it's nice to have him. He's a veteran running back, but they have good young options. And if there's issues there where Andy Reid can't trust him, I mean, I don't know. I do like Chris Thompson and Ronald Jones. I mean, Chris Thompson at Miami, it's the worst run D. He definitely gets 10 touches a game, and he gets catches. So in PPR, a lot of those touches are catches. They're not rushes. And then you have Ronald Jones. He gets probably the most touches of any of these guys at about 13 or 14 touches a game. And he is very efficient at home, almost 6 yards a carry at home. I would say Thompson and Ronald Jones.
I'm with you on those. Mainly because the shady stuff, they have other guys there and they're not reliant on him and his running game or anything like that. So you can't guarantee how many touches he's going to get. And if they're going to Belichick him because of like some other stuff, like, pass protection issues or whatever, they're primarily a pass team now. They want Pat Mahomes out there slinging it. And if you can't pass protect, you're not going to be in the game. You're not going to be in the game. There's no chance of them even audibling a run to you, much less drawing one up. So I would take the guys that are actually going to get touches.
I have it right now. I have it as Ronald Jones and Chris Thompson.
Yeah, I would keep it that way. I mean, Thompson. Another thing about Thompson is if you look at Peterson's usage since the beginning of the season, it's fading downward.
Yeah.
His efficiency is horrific. And I think it's. I mean, I want to say it's either like I think it's like right under 3. Not even there. That's rough.
Yeah, it is. So, did you have one too, Stas?
Oh, I've got plenty. I got problems, man. I need help. Let me pull it up here. Wide receiver spot. I have Jarvis Landry versus Seattle, Will Fuller at Kansas City, or a Patriots wide receiver versus the Giants. And that's Gordon or Dorsett. If Dorsett even plays.
This is a pick one situation.
Yes. Landry, Fuller, Gordon.
I'm taking Fuller all day.
I am also going Fuller. I would say Fuller, man.
That's the worst ranked defense to go against. I mean, like the best. Like Kansas City, like of those three, they are the stingiest against opposing wide receivers.
You got to be careful with that though, because most teams don't have like a 1 and 2 like they have in Houston. You know what I mean? He's gonna get open looks. You know, he's gonna get those single cover, that man on man coverage that they want with him, and they're gonna take
and
shots.
He's healthy. He's healthy this year.
If Deshaun Watson's protected, they're gonna take shots. I imagine it is gonna be a high scoring affair, and I would take Fuller in this situation for sure.
Yeah, there's no bigger Will Fuller fan than me. It's just,
maybe. My team was called Fuller House last year, and I had a picture of Will Fuller over every cast member of Fuller House.
This is the first year I haven't drafted Will Fuller.
Okay, I need a running back. LaShawn McCoy or Jordan Howard. McCoy is versus Houston. Howard is at Minnesota. So we already kind of talked about Shady with Nick's sit and start. What do you guys think about Howard? Yeah, it's Howard or McCoy.
I had Howard actually as one of my sits this week.
Yeah, at Minnesota.
Yeah. Minnesota's 29th against the run.
So what do you think? Think I have to play Shady here?
I still have to go with Jordan Howard though, because I think he'll get more touches than Shady will.
And he gets the goal line touches lately too, so
yeah.
That is true.
So despite it being a worse matchup, I'd still, if those are my only options, I would still roll Howard out there.
Okay. For my QB, I have a QB debacle. In this league, I've had Baker Mayfield. And after watching the film in this past 4 games, I am definitely dropping him. I don't care if he puts up 50 next week.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and drop him. These are the 4 on the waiver that I had my eye on. Jimmy Garoppolo at the Rams, Kirk Cousins versus Philadelphia, Gardner Minshew versus New Orleans, or this one, which is my favorite, Teddy Bridgewater at Jacksonville.
I'm taking Garoppolo all day in this situation against the Rams. They can get carved up through the air, as we saw, with Jameis Winston. And that team's on a roll. Yeah, I'm taking Garoppolo all day.
And I mean, this decision is more of a long-term decision too. Like for streaming purposes this week. I mean, I'm considering it a streaming QB, but I mean, it'd be nice,
He's gonna have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Man, you think?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I really do. He's gonna have 30 points.
I said it was gonna be a good game, but I see them losing. But I would go Garoppolo.
Wow, interesting.
And because of long term,
dude. When we were talking about it earlier, your yards after the catch, guys. When you could dump it off to a guy like Kittle and him
pounding,
just break fucking 3 tackles and just take it to the house.
How many times are they going to mention that he's a fan of wrestling last night? Like, I got it. I got it, guys.
He was on the field. He was wrestling half of these guys.
It's the first 8 references.
It's the new Jimmy Graham played basketball.
Also, can we talk about Booger McFarland, like, starting shit, like, in the game? Did you hear him talk about Minnesota in the game? Where he Like they say the score of the game, like the final of the Minnesota game. They're like, yeah, Minnesota got it together this week, and then he couldn't let it go. He had to bring up the drama, and he's like, I still think something bad's gonna happen there. But I'm like, dude. And he even went further. Like he actually he said something like, there's something going on over there and it's gonna shake out. It's like, bro, they're trying to heal. Can you just let them heal?
Yeah. I mean, Booger is not necessarily known for his tact, but I'll say this, he's better than Witten, who said things like, he's out there pulling a rabbit out of his head. And even Booger's looking at him like, yo, fuck you. We're on live right now, huh?
I miss the
that
Booger
guy.
mobile.
He made a great block, and that's what he gets paid to do is block.
Yeah, people hated the Booger Mobile though. People paid for those seats and they got blocked by the Booger Mobile.
That's why I loved it so much.
Ridiculous.
Every week.
And the NFL's like, let's slap a fucking 40-inch TV on the back of the Booger Mobile. That'll make them happy. I was like, what is this? Why does this guy need to be fucking?
I say bring it back.
In the air?
Hashtag Boogermobile back.
It's like when Fox News built the Fox News deck for Shepard Smith with like the giant iPads.
Yeah.
Like what is the purpose of
like
this?
just think about like the flagrant waste of money this is, right? So they had somebody like construct this machine, right? It's like an accordion style scissor lift, right?
Yeah.
Built onto a cart with like a fucking lazy boy at the top of it. You know what I mean? Like they got the dudes from BattleBots to put this shit together. All right. And who knows how much they paid for it? They have to fucking lug this thing from city to city. And like at the end of the day, all you do is have Booger sitting up there with a fucking scar freezing his ass off, saying things like, yeah, I saw it from up here. It was a great play. And, this team's really got it together. And, just color commentary. Back to you guys in this, like all for that. Like, how valuable is that commentary from Booger? I can understand if, like, this was, like, at the end of, like, John Gruden's run in Monday Night Football. They're like, well, let's set up some crazy thing for, you know what I mean? Like, who gets to come into a situation and immediately get, like, their own, like, device?
Pimped out scissor lift.
Their own pimped out scissor lift to just randomly color commentate from.
ESPN's taking chances.
It's unprecedented. It's outrageous.
Well, guys, the team that scored the most points is going to win here.
Yeah, back to you. Back to you, Joe. Thanks, Booger. Anyway, and then he's just like shivering up there like 40 feet high.
I really can't stand them, the current two we have. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sometimes it sounds like I'm watching a WAC conference game on the WAC conference channel.
Yeah.
If I had to equate it to some measurement of quality.
So let me hit you guys with one of my sits has already been mentioned, Jordan Howard, but I've got a start sit that is basically for the same reason. My sit is going to be DJ Chark on account of Lattimore and what he's done to Mike Evans and Amari Cooper. I imagine he'll be on Chark this game. And thusly, my start is going to be D.D. Westbrook because I think that he's going to smoke Eli Apple or whoever's lined up against him in nickel coverage with Marcus or P.J. Williams, whoever. So
I don't like your logic there. The numbers prove that it doesn't matter what the coverage is on Chark. Gardner likes him, and he's going to force it, and it might result in picks. But I don't think D.D. Westbrook will be will have some large benefit of having Eli Apple covering him with Chark getting with Lattimore. And I'm not sure that Lattimore plays Chark automatically every down. Even though we presume Chark to be the number one there and the big eater in that passing attack, I'm not sure that that's how that's going to be in terms of the matchup all game. I think it'll be more situational than that. And I do, dude. I mean, I'm telling you, man. I've made the mistake of sitting Chark, and you do not want to do it. I have also made the great decisions of starting him. Man, he's like the second or third best wide receiver in fantasy right now.
Mm-hmm.
I just wouldn't do that.
I think that ends this week, though.
I would play DD.
He's going to be on Lattimore Island.
Let Revis live, man. Let the late, great veteran live. Okay, Lattimore can have some other shit. That's right, Revis Island.
Agree to disagree.
Man, Lattimore's on his game right now. I mean, you can't take it away from him.
Yeah,
he
sure.
shut down.
Have you watched DJ Chark play this season?
Have you seen what Mike Evans can do?
Look,
and he's on you so bad you can't even get a throw?
Okay. Let's not compare, because I'm going to point out something right now. Mike Evans, as gifted as he is, as big as he is, as fast as he is, he has one of the worst catch rates for targets in the NFL. He might own a lot of records since he's been in the league, but he also owns that record, I'm pretty sure, for like qualifying wide receivers. The guy, if contested, is horrific at catching balls. So those are facts. I mean, dude, some years he's like straight up 50%. He gets like 140 targets and he gets like 70 catches, you know.
But Eli Apple is going to get burned so bad that he's going to have to get the ball thrown to him.
Okay.
I think you might be right
on who has the most fantasy points between Day and DJ Chark.
Yeah, I'll bet you
$25 straight up.
Sure, lock it in.
Logging in. You taking that, Nick?
Yeah, I'll take that.
Okay, logging in.
Okay, so this is it's not even a three-way bet. You just made the same bet with both of us.
Locked in.
Okay. My other start is not any particular player, but I feel like if somebody is ever in a bind at wide receiver this week, you could flip a coin between Deebo Samuel, Marquise Goodwin, and Dante Pettis. One of those guys is going to have a huge game against the Rams. And you never really know which one it's going to be.
It's Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
It's either Goodwin or Samuel, and I think they are realizing that Deebo Samuel is going to be their number one eventually when he has a grasp on things. Goodwin's fast, man, but he can't do everything. As fast as Goodwin is, he's like, I love Ted Ginn as an example as a wide receiver because he started his career out as a speedster, but he actually has evolved into becoming a receiver. Like when he went to Carolina, he had been in the league for a while. And he was just a return specialist. And he actually grew into a wide receiver. Marquise Goodwin, I just feel like he hasn't made that jump. Like, I really like Samuel. Week in and week out, he's becoming more prominent in that offense.
Yeah. So like I said, he's got a favorable matchup this week, I think. So, and that should prove to be a high-scoring game.
Deebo has the most receptions out of all of them so far, coming in at 12, and Marquise is at 9.
I mean, the thought there before the season was that all of a sudden Pettis was going to be the number one. And then after the first two games, I mean, he was so horrific that, okay, Goodwin's now the presumed number one depth chart guy. But again, I mean, he's just boom or bust, big play.
I mean, Samuel's got 150 receiving yards so far, and Pettis has 38.
Dante Pettis is slowly becoming the Adam Morrison of this 49ers team. He's just going to be the best cheerleader on the side. It'll be him and Jordan Matthews, who they just re-signed, by the way. That's another guy we're not even talking about. Jordan Matthews, man. I mean, they're talking about Jordan Matthews like playing. So that's something to think about. We didn't even talk about that.
Checkers?
Jordan Matthews will be the slot receiver. They are hinting in the near future.
Oh my God.
I mean, he practiced with them all off season, dude. And apparently he's really healthy now, so.
I'll believe that when I see it. Until then, like I said, I would flip a coin on those three.
Did you happen to catch the highlights of the first NBA preseason games?
No, man. I've been too tuned in on the NBA, bowing to the Chinese overlords to focus on the actual quality.
Yeah, I love that. I love how Silver is like not giving a fuck either. Now he's in the fight.
They're like, yeah, this is about money.
It's
Okay.
beautiful.
I don't give a fuck about your cute.
So you didn't see
little
Zion.
ideals.
You didn't see any Zion.
No, I didn't.
Why don't you go watch some Zion? Man.
Well, maybe I will.
Whew,
Posterizing people already.
dude, it felt like an all-star game. Like people were just getting out of the way because they didn't want to have anything to do with that. You remember seeing like rookie year or early years of Shaq when he was still like nimble? He didn't have all that extra weight yet. That's what it looked like him running down. Now they were. I don't remember how much I saw him out of transition, but they had him playing underneath the free throw line the whole game. But man, those dunks were sick, and he gets so high. Man,
Yeah.
he's not just like tall and big. Like, dude, he gets up there.
Yeah.
Like a one-handed Sean Kemp.
For like pushing 300 pounds or whatever.
Yeah, he's like 100 pounds heavier than Sean Kemp, though. He's the second heaviest player in the NBA.
It's a monster. It's an absolute monster. I love it. Somebody at work was saying that, he's going to need to lose weight. I was like, fuck that. He can lose weight in 10 years. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Right now, just use that size. No need to cut weight down. I am, though, excited about the NBA this year because basically everything that I love to hate is all consolidated on one team in the Lakers. So I get to basically channel all of my hatred and focus just on
by
that.
the way,
You know what I mean?
looked very good against an unscripted Golden State Warriors. Man,
I know it's going to be fantastic watching them lose in the playoffs.
the LeBron to AD connection looked too easy.
I don't even know if they get there.
I'm also looking forward to collecting the 500 from you.
You don't think they get to the playoffs?
They might not.
Guys,
you got
I mean,
you got two superstars and that's it. Yes, they are great. They are really great.
2019, 2020 is the first new year of the new era, which is the big two. There aren't many teams left with big threes anymore, man. Every team has a big two now. We're back to the 90s. It's great.
I get
It's
it.
beautiful. So many teams can go to the finals this year. I fucking love it.
Which is why I'm saying they may or may not make it. This might be the second year LeBron doesn't make it.
They are definitely
Second year in
making
a
the
row.
playoffs.
Ooh.
I will bet $250 right now to any takers.
I'm not taking that bet because I think that they'll probably make the playoffs.
They're going to make the finals.
Okay, I'll take that bet. 250?
That's not a lock. That wasn't the bet.
I was about to say, wait, I might take that one too. Stassi's about to be out.
I need odds. I need odds.
That's what Stassi does.